Hello students, in this video I will be taking up the topic of jump statements in Java. These statements are used to move the control from one set of statements from the normal sequence of statements to some other set of statements.
There are three jump statements in Java. These are break, continue and return. Break is used when you have to come out of a loop even when the loop condition is true. And it is also, as you know, it is also used when you have to come out of a switch case. Whereas a continue statement, it skips those statements which are mentioned below it and goes to the condition checking part. But it goes to the condition checking part only in a while or do while loop and goes to the updation part in a for loop. Finally, then you have the return statement, which is used in a called function to return back to the calling function. I am showing you the use of break statement through this prime number program. Now in this, you can see that this is the use of break here. The loop goes from I equal to 2 and I less than or equal to n minus 1 is the condition. So let us assume that the number is 14, n is 14. So the loop will go on till n minus 1, that is, it will go on till 13. Now if the variable I is 2, so it is less than or equal to 13, correct? But when you say n modulo I equal to 0, so when I is 2, the condition is true, so it will display it as composite, and then we don't want to move further, so we are breaking out of the loop. Now the loop condition is true, I is just 2, which is less than or equal to 13. So the condition is true, still we are able to come out of the loop. So that means you are breaking out of the loop even when the condition is true, going against the normal sequence of statements. Break is used to jump out of the loop. In this program, the use of continue is shown. The program is to accept 5 numbers from the user and find out their sum. But supposing the user enters one of the numbers in which 0 is the last digit, like 10, 20, 30. So in such a case, that number should not be added to the sum. Also, the variable I should not be incremented also. So you can see here when the number is accepted, fine. And if n modulo 10 is equal to 0, that means the last digit, if it is equal to 0, so what we are specifying, we are saying continue. So continue will take it to again the beginning of the loop. So neither the variable I will be incremented nor s will be incremented further, means s will also, we will not be adding n to s further. So in such a case, the number which is ending with a 0 will not be added and it will not be considered as one of the numbers, correct? I can further show its execution to make it more clear to you. So herein I am entering the numbers. Supposing I enter like 5. Okay, after that I am entering 2, then I am entering 20. So mind you, 20 is like ending with a 0. So 5 plus 2 is 7, but after that 20 will not be added, correct? And the numbers now, like 2, otherwise I have entered 3 numbers, but it will be taken that only 2 numbers are entered because I is also not incremented, because it has straight away continue has been performed, it has gone to the condition checking part. Now herein I enter supposing 1 and then I enter 3. Now it will accept another number from me because 5 numbers for it are not over because it is not considering 20. So here now 4 is entered. So now you have 5 plus 2 plus 1 plus 3 plus 4, right? So you get it as 15, right? So you can clearly see that 20 has not been added. Here I have shown you the use of continue in a while loop. So in a while loop, you can see that whenever continue statement is encountered, it is taking you to the condition checking part. But if it is a for loop, it will take you to the updation part. Even in a do while loop, it will take you to the condition part. Now the labeled loops, well, these are the ones when you are giving labels to the loops. As the name itself suggests, giving labels to the loops. As you can see here, there are two loops, right? The outer loop and the inner loop. The outer loop is given the label outer. You can see this. You can give any name following the variable naming restrictions. So you have to give the name, and after that you have to remember to put these colon sign, yeah, so a colon has to be put after it. Then for the inner loop, again I have given it a label, and after that I have to put the colon symbol. The advantage of having labeled loops is that in the labeled loops you can use these break statements also with a label. So like and similarly you can also use continue statement with a label. Now when you are using, normally when you use break statement, there are two loops, so you will be coming out of the loop in which you have used the break statement. So you are using it in the inner loop, you will be coming out of the inner loop. But when you say break outer, see in this here in this program I've used break outer, so this will make you come out of the outer loop even when you are in the inner loop. Now in this program I'm showing you the use of labeled continue statement, right? So continue outer, like here it is used. So how it works, let me show it to you. Again there are two for loops. One is having the label outer, the outer loop, and the inner loop is having the label inner. Correct. So now when I is first time, the outer loop will move from 1 to 3. Correct, and within it the inner loop moves from 1 to 3 again. So when I is 1, first time when I is 1, so it will enter the loop, and j is 1, and as 1 is less than or equal to 3, so it will check, is 1 equal to 1? Yes. So continue outer will make it go not to the updation part of the jth loop, it will go to the updation part of the ith loop. So I will be incremented and I will become equal to 2. Now 2 is less than or equal to 3, so again it enters the inner loop. Now it will start again from j equal to 1. So 1 is less than 3, so is 2 equal to 1? No. So what will be displayed on the screen? 2, 1. So this is our first display. What is that? 2, 1. Now after that j is incremented, so it will become 2, and 2 is less than or equal to 3, it comes here. I is already 2 and j is 2, so 2 is equal to 2. Again the condition becomes true, and because of continue outer, it will go to the updation part. So it will go to the I++ part, and here now I will be incremented, it will become 3, and because j has to again it enters this loop and j is 1, so 1 is less than or equal to 3. So now is 3 equal to 1? No. So 3, 1 will be displayed. Then j will be incremented, so it will become 2. So now 3, is it equal to 2? No. So in this case again 3, 2 will be displayed. Then j is incremented. Now 3 is equal to 3, so it will take you to the condition outer, that means it will take it to the updation part. So 3, 3 will not be displayed, and the condition becomes false because I has now become 4, and now you come out of the loop. as you can see, the output is 2 1. So 1 1 was not displayed because from there itself we came out of the inner loop, and now 2 1 is displayed, then 3 1 3 2.
So this was a very simple topic. I hope you have understood it properly. Thank you.